A lot happening around the NBA landscape this week. Obviously, starting this week off with massive news. Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek Freak, heading down to South Beach for Tyler Hero, amongst others, and picks. Obviously, we had the 3-team trade. Julius Randle heading to the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn Nets sending Nick Claxton to the Bulls. And the Wolves shedding salary. And now we know why, because they made a trade this morning for LaMelo Ball and Josh Green. And they are sending Naz Reid and some pick swaps and an unprotected first rounder to the Charlotte Hornets. All that, and obviously, Al Horford back in Golden State on a 2-year, $14 million fully guaranteed contract. Do you love the move? Do you hate the move? And what do you want to see the Warriors do next? And I thought it was a good point from Sean in LA. I don't think this is on anyone's bingo card that the first move was going to be post-draft signing Al Horford to a 2-year deal.
They also signed the Gonzaga kid. Is it Ike? How do you pronounce his name? Graham? Is it Ike, the kid from Gonzaga? He's the power forward that was like one of their. He would finish with the left around the rim occasionally.
I do not know how to pronounce it.
Okay, but they signed him to an undrafted free agent kind of signing. And
Graham Ike?
Yeah, I think it's Ike is how you pronounce it.
I believe so.
He was the jack guy for Gonzaga the last, 2 years. And I was really intrigued with that. I'm like, all right, let's see this guy in Summer League. And then you bring in Horford. I mean, I guess this feels like Quinn Post is out the door, right?
Probably. And yeah, Graham Ike signed an Exhibit 10 contract with the Golden State Warriors as an undrafted free agent. He was the 2025-2026 WCC Player of the Year, averaging 19.9 points and 8 boards per game. And if you don't know what an Exhibit 10 contract, no, it doesn't have to do with the rapper. It's a 1-year minimum salary NBA deal that gives the Warriors the right to convert the contract into a 2-way deal before the regular season begins. Yeah. It's basically, okay, play some Summer League. If we like you, sign you to a 2-year deal.
I like this. I liked him. I watched a little bit of WCC. I don't pretend to be the biggest WCC honked, but St. Mary's versus Gonzaga, this guy stuck out to me.
Absolutely.
And in the tournament, he had a game where he had 35 points or whatever it was and looks really dominant. And so he's undersized as a back to the basket power forward, but it's just something unique. I'm I want to see more of those types of swings than this. And now I'm thinking about the big moves in the NBA over the last couple of days. Giannis.
Yeah.
Trae Young going back to
Trae Young re-signing. Yeah.
The Wizards. Jalen will get traded. LaMelo was rumored to get traded. Boom, he gets traded.
Yep. Julius Randle obviously traded.
Randle gets traded. I don't understand what Minnesota's doing. And then I'm looking at the Warriors, and that last caller I thought made a really good point. I'm okay at the end of free agency, bring back Al Horford.
But
as a priority move, at least the way it feels today, because the rest of the offseason hasn't played out, it's just kind of okay. Now, maybe they don't think that they can bring back Kristaps Porzingis.
They might not, yeah.
And this could be some sort of an insurance because they think he's going to walk. Maybe this is, they do think Kristaps is coming back and they want to keep the 2 shooting bigs alongside each other. Maybe it's because they think that Draymond's coming back on a 1 or a 2-year option. Maybe they don't think Draymond's coming back. I don't know what is in the cards. On my list of things to do this offseason, this was relatively low.
And obviously, the Warriors had a second-round pick draft last night, LaJae Jones out of Florida State. Prior to that, he was at St. Bonaventure, a community college stop. He is 22 years old, Joe, so it's another guy that's a little bit older, a little more polished and seasoned. 6'7", averaged 12 points and 5 boards last year, 220 pounds. He's got size, he's got versatility. Again, this is kind of the players that Warriors fans have clamored for a while, right? Under Steve Kerr's system, let's start drafting guys that are a little bit bigger, a little bit older, and not the, 19, 18-year-old, under 6'5" guard that is going to be a shooter and can't play a lot of defense. So, in theory, these are kind of the picks, and you see Yaxel and LaJae Jones are okay, I like that. Now let's see it going forward. Let's see how much playing time these guys get. Do I expect the second-round pick to, be joining the team immediately? No, I have no idea. But then
they have no wings.
But I was just going to say, Joe, I look at the depth chart. Hell, LaJae Jones might be on the starting roster for this team. He might be, just by virtue of who else do you have?
Well, and the name that we haven't brought up is I'm thinking, all right, this guy comes back and this guy comes back. You bring Horford back. Does that mean GP2 is more likely to come back?
I don't know. What's his market look like out there? I have no idea what some of these markets and teams are going to be going. You mentioned a guy like, Gillespie over from the Phoenix Suns. He got 4 years, $48 million as a role player, undersized point guard.
But But he's really young.
He's really young.
And he can shoot a little.
I feel like Gary Payton might, at this stage of his career, take like a cheap minimum deal for a contender. I could see him like filling in, like not the Spurs or whatever, but I could see that happening, right?
I think he'd fit right in with the Knicks.
Perfect Nick.
He'd fit right in with the Knicks. But they've got a very expensive roster as is.
He does, and he's got familiarity with who? The head coach there, Mike Brown.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be a perfect, like the Knicks would love him.
Absolutely. Colin in San Jose wants to join the conversation. Colin, what's going on, man? You're on the Morning Roast.
Yeah, how you doing, guys? Yeah, I'm kind of torn because actually, a quick comment on the LaMelo thing earlier. I thought that was hilarious. I would take anyone on our roster over LaMelo. He's the first star the Charlotte's had in forever, and even they traded him away. He's not a winning player, so yeah, not interested there. But for us, I'm torn because I do like our draft picks. I think there's some positive directions, but I'm kind of with Shasky in that. Well, it's funny. I think we could actually be better than Shasky's giving us credit for, and yet still, if we're healthy, and yet we're still, I think, going to be a bug on the windshield for San Antonio and OKC. And it sucks, and I feel like we're kind of getting a taste of what other people experienced last decade when the Warriors were kind of just sitting at the top and everyone was fighting for, second, third place, whatever. It's unfortunate, and it's not that you want to give up or you don't want to compete, but it does feel like we kind of have to rip the Band-Aid off because I don't see it with this roster with how dominant OKC and San Antonio are right now in the West.
Well, I'm okay not competing directly with those two teams. Like, I think you've got to just worry about getting better in your team, and like we can grow over time. Yeah. I think the problem with most Warrior fans, not a problem, but I think the issue is that we're so like, if you're not competing for a championship, then what are you doing? It's like, well, I don't know what you did for 60 years prior to winning championships. You try to build the best team you can and grow from there.
I do think a majority of the fan base is under how you're thinking right now, Joe. I like to think a majority of the fan base is like, yeah, we know we're not
it's
those
okay.
top two teams.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay also realizing I'm probably not at the level of like the Nuggets, Timberwolves, or Lakers at this point either. That's okay.
Yeah, but just be good and young and exciting. And by good, I mean like, let's say you win, hypothetically, you win 32 games, but we find out this year, hey, Ike Graham is actually a great backup big man.
Oh,
okay.
That'd be nice.
And Yaxel's a starter. He's a starting power forward. And this wing that you got, perfect seventh man.
Wow. That youth movement's in full effect already.
Well, that's three pieces of a rotation now moving forward, which you don't have right now. You literally don't have. Who's a young player? Pods is a part of that rotation as well.
Yeah.
I don't want to diminish Pods.
Oh, sure. Keith Santos?
No, you need stars and you need young pillars, but if you win 32 games next year, that might be the sweet spot to get back into the top three.
Well, that's another thing in this. That's why I'm not freaking out if I'm a Warriors fan. Like, oh, here we go, another playing team again. That's okay. Like with the new lottery system, that's fine.
Or just miss out on the play-in a little, just ever so slightly.
Exactly. That's okay in the grand scheme of things because we all know what the end goal with this team is. It's not competing for a championship. It's having something in place post-Steph Curry and post-Steve Kerr. Because Steve Kerr has told us basically with this 2-year contract, I think that's the window for all these players. The next 2 years, and after that, and maybe Steph stays longer. I have no idea. But right now, if I'm betting on it, it probably aligns with Steve Kerr. 2 more years, and it's going to be the young guys after that.
Here's what I would say. The next 3 years, including this year's draft, I'm looking for the next potential one-time All-Star. That's where I'm starting. Yeah. If I can find someone who maybe could be a one-time All-Star, that's the starting point.
Sure.
Boom. Now you build around that. Like, think about where the Knicks were just a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
You look at their roster, right? Yeah. And where they are today. And now the winning helps elevate everyone on that roster. And I'm sure this year they'll have a ton of All-Stars. But when they swung the deal for Cat, he is a 6-time All-Star.
Absolutely.
Or I guess they swung it. He was a 4-time All-Star or 3-time All-Star. And now he's had 2 years of All-Star. I think it's 2 or 3 years of All-Stars in the Knicks. But you get where I'm going with this.
Absolutely.
When they made the trade for Jalen Brunson, most people didn't think he would be an All-Star.
No. I didn't. I didn't. Well, only because, Joe, we had watched Jalen Brunson in the Dallas Mavericks, and he got absolutely just shut down in that series against the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals.
I know.
I was like, that's the guy? Really? I know Luka's the guy, but him? And he shut us all up including Becky Hammond.
I wonder what they're going to do.
Who said she was wrong, by the way. I wonder if Knicks fans finally have forgiven Becky Hammond for having an opinion that was wrong.
What are they going to do with Jimmy Butler?
I just don't think they're going to be able to move off that contract. I know it's expiring and it's like it's a big salary dump. And if you would love, I would love for them to try to get off of it.
You don't think Jimmy's like, oh, you just gave Al a 2-year deal? Why are you smiling?
Because like these guys have got to look in the mirror. They're ancient.
Al just got a pay raise.
Oh my God.
And an extra year.
But come on, they understand $14 million is not going to be what the pay raise that they want. The pay raise that those guys want is not the same pay raise as Al Horford. Come on, Joe. Come on.
The egos on these guys.
Come on. Exactly. And you know what? Kick rocks with all the egos. I want an egoless team. Steph Curry, fine. Everyone else, kick rocks. That's why I brought in Yaxel Lendeborg.
I don't know what to tell you. If you don't think Jimmy Butler is sitting here going, excellent, after seeing Al Horford get extended.
Mr. Burns?
Hell yeah.
Stop. Who's Smithers in this scenario? Huh? Mike Dunleavy?
Possibly.
I played with you, Jimmy. Yeah.